Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. I'm Farron Cousins from Ring of Fire, sitting in for David Pakman today, and I will also be with you tomorrow. You know, uh, a lot has been said recently about guns in the United States, obviously for very good reasons. There's a huge movement. We've got to get some kind of gun control. But there's another issue related to that we absolutely also have to discuss. And it is the fact that right now, the United States Department of Defense, the United States military, is spending money at such an alarming rate that you have to wonder what is on the horizon. According to a recent report, Lockheed Martin in 2017 got $35.2 billion from the U.S. Defense Department. They accounted, that money to Lockheed Martin from the Defense Department accounted for 70% of the company's total sales in 2017. That $35 billion is more than the United States funded NASA with last year. It's the same as the GDP of Bolivia, according to reports. And that's how much we spent on just one defense contractor to buy their fighter jets. Boeing, not too far behind them, got $26.5 billion in 2016. And excuse me, the Lockheed Martin money was 2016, not 2017. But look, we are spending tens of billions of dollars per defense contractor right now. We just upped the military budget for this coming year. More billions upon billions upon billions to feed this disgusting war machine that we have built as a country. But this $35 billion to Lockheed Martin alone, not even including the $26 billion to Boeing, this is disgusting for the United States for many, many reasons. First and foremost, because we've been told a little too often in the last year that as a country, we simply can't afford something as monumental as universal health care. We can't afford debt-free college. We can't afford to forgive student loans anymore. Why? Well, for one, because we've got to get tax cuts to our wealthy donors, but two, because these poor defense contractors are just starving for our money. I mean, think about that. If we just took only the money that we gave to Lockheed and Boeing in a single year, which is more than $60 billion, because that 35.2 to Lockheed is actually a little bit lower than usual. Their average is about 38 billion a year. So anyway, just those two, Lockheed and Boeing, 60 billion a year. How many doctor's visits could that buy for American citizens? How many prescriptions could that fill? How many cancer screenings could that fund? How many students could we send to college? How many school lunches could we buy for starving American children? How many homes could we build for the homeless? I mean, the possibilities of what we could do with this money are endless, but instead, we're buying tanks. We're buying long-range missiles. That was part of this $35 billion that Lockheed got, was because we're currently having several different companies develop new long-range missiles, and it's basically a bidding war. We're giving each company that makes these things some money to develop one, and whoever makes the best one is going to get the main contract to get billions upon billions more, according to the Washington Post. So essentially, we're having a bidding war right now to see who can make the bomb that goes the furthest and blows up the most things. And then whoever gets that, whoever makes it, whoever creates it, you're going to get a few extra $1 billion because congratulations, you won the American contest of death. Because let's be honest, that's what this is. That's what is happening here. We are so invested. The military complex here in the United States is so invested in destroying as much as possible that the government doesn't care what they're blowing money on. Meanwhile, Too many kids in this country go each day without enough to eat. They're not getting proper nutrition. We have U.S. military veterans and other American citizens that sleep on the streets each night. They don't know where their next meal is going to come from. They don't have a roof over their head. If it gets too cold, they freeze to death. If it gets too hot, they can die from dehydration. And yet we're dumping tens of billions of dollars into each individual defense contractor. And that's what's disgusting here. This isn't all of them as a whole. This is what we give each individual one. Students right now who are saying, I can't go to college because one, I can't afford it, and two, I can't afford to be straddled with that $100,000 in student loan debt for the next 40 years of my life. So they don't go. Meanwhile, $35 billion to Lockheed, $26 billion to Boeing in one single year. And you're going to sit there and tell me that we can't get universal health care, that we can't get debt-free college, that we can't address the issue of homelessness, that we can't not cut Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and all of these other programs designed to help American citizens? Why? Because we need to go blow more stuff up? Because we need to just show our military might? Because Donald Trump needs a few more floats for his parade? Is that what this is about? Something has to change. We cannot continue on as a country when we think that it's more important to build up our arsenal of tanks and planes and bombs just in case. Because let's never forget, the United States military is better funded than any other military on the planet. As a percentage of GDP, we pay more, spend more on our military than most of the rest of the industrialized world combined. Not just more, but more combined than most of them. We could cut our military budget almost in half and still be spending more than any other country in the world on our military. And yet, when it comes to taking care of our citizens, we're among the last among the industrialized world.